This one took a little more work than I really like to put out on a show that I've already been doing. Like I've been with this show since this show has been in existence. And I felt a kind of a way to have to put this much work out to complete the first episode. It's been 8 seasons. So I felt some kind of way. But in the end, I think it was worth it. In the end, I think I was worth it. We are definitely going to talk about it. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for season 8, episode 1 of Real Housewives of Potomac. And as I was saying, there really is no reason that I have to put this type of work or time into a review for a show that I've been doing I've done 7 seasons, period. I've been with them since they've been on the air. And I literally had to watch this show twice in its entirety. And that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. But I've been with the show long enough. I'm invested enough in it that I actually put the work forth for it. And I'm glad I did. Because when I watched it the first time, I was like, this is giving me complete nothingness. It's giving me nothingness. Something about it is not connecting with me in the way I do things. And if you've been with me any amount of time, you know that when I do reviews, I stay in the show lane. I don't follow the people on social media. I try not to see things they have going on in real time. I basically really stick to the show, what is shown on the show, and that's what I am reviewing on, not what's going on in real time. I actually stick to what is shown on the show. I am reviewing the show. Well, a little while ago, I actually did. I lived in that place of, okay, so this stuff is going on in real time, and here we got this. They did this whole thing where they kind of released like a teaser, and it was a longer teaser, and it like went into basically the first portion of this show. We already seen it a few weeks ago, and I really wish that I hadn't. I wish I hadn't. I went through the show. First time through, I fell asleep on the show because I lost interest at the very first 15 minutes because I already seen it. So by the time we rolled through and we got past the first half hour, I completely dozed off. And when I woke up, the credits were rolling. So I had to go back and watch from the first 15 minutes I watched. So that was the first time. And then I got to the end and I said, nothingness. And something said, I literally had sat, turned the light on, and all of this, was ready to start talking to you all. And something said, hold up. And I went back and I watched the show all over again. And here I am, because now I feel completely different. It's kind of like I feel refreshed, and I kind of cleared my head of the bad situation, because it was a bad situation. But falling asleep on episode 1, that's not good. That's not good. But I went back and I rewatched. And there's some things. There's definitely some things. I'm going to go through that first 15 minutes. Still nothingness. It was nothingness when I watched it weeks ago as a teaser. They had this whole sepia, I think that's the word, is sepia, that make it look old, like an old sitcom or something. And they thought it was really cute and really clever. I thought it was trash. I thought it was trash. Basically, kind of taking us from where we were up to where we are and what we're going to be cut. It was trash. Pure trash. A waste of time. It was a waste of time. It didn't draw me in. It irritated me for the most part. So basically, all we basically got to know was nothing. Stuff that we kind of seen. Whatever. I ain't even going through it. It was what it was. So scrap the first 15 minutes. The first 15 minutes of the show was like a bad skit on SNL. Throw it in the garbage. So I'm going to start here. Juan and Robyn. There's been so much mess about Juan and Robyn. They got married at the end of last season. And then shortly after that, Juan got all tied up in Juan's cheating. It was this whole thing about him cheating. And then she did interviews where she held the information and she didn't say anything. So they felt like she was holding information. And then her job was in the balance because Bravo felt a certain type of way and the fans felt a kind of way. And then you have Juan ended up getting into another situation. There was literally 2 more situations with women. And then there was a situation with his job. And we've seen that in real time since the show was on hiatus. He done lost his job, where it had a whole bunch to do with one of the students and some inappropriate advances and him not saying anything. Basically the same thing she did. They were saying like he didn't say anything. So in turn, it ended up being a big kerfuffle. He ended up losing his job. So over at the Dixon house, everything is a shitty mess, basically. But in the interim, Robyn is Team Juan, period. And everybody else is looking at her like, you got to be the damnedest fool in the world. But here's the thing. Back up off of her. Back up off of her. And I'm not saying that because I'm Team Robyn. I'm saying back up off of her because it's like a child. You can't live it for her. I know we see what we see. We all see it. We've all always seen it. Juan Dixon is a cute guy who's full of shit, who has a fool that he married, who loves him deeply. And she's willing to play the fool. Who are we to tell her, stop playing the fool? Back up off of her. She wants you to back up off of her. Back up off of her. Don't keep making her explain it. Let her be the damnedest fool that she chooses to be. And I refuse. I refuse to work myself up any further as pertains to Juan Dixon and Robyn Dixon. Nothing will surprise me. She is literally in a space of, I'm Team Juan. I will make excuses for whatever. But that's who she's been. That's who she's been. She has always made excuses for the fact that Juan does not treat her fairly. He don't. Juan does what's good for Juan. Period. And Robyn makes excuses for the fact that Juan does what Juan wants to do. And if that's what makes them happy, hey, go for it. Go for it. That's all I see with that. It's just excuses, a bunch of excuses. She's upset with Candiace a little bit because she kind of felt like she supported Candiace last year with the stuff she went through with her husband and people accusing her husband of stuff, and she was standing up for her husband. But there's a difference. Her husband, there was video proof that her husband was not guilty. Everything with your husband looks shady and grifty as hell. So there's a difference. But she's upset with Candiace. She has all the excuses in the world. He done lost the job. He basically says he's not guilty of any of the things that he was, being accused of as pertains to that student. He feels like it's, oh, we didn't win enough games. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. I don't really know because I ain't go all into the case and all of that, and it went to court and everything. I didn't go into all of that, but Juan, it just, I know some folks who have been in some trouble, and it doesn't make a difference what you say or how you say it. You're never going to get the full story. So you know what you do? You just stop asking. You could tell me whatever it is you want to tell me, and then I'll go ahead and draw my own conclusions. But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to beat you up about whatever conclusions that I draw. What I want to do is put myself into a place where I compartmentalize it, and I'll love you from over here, and I'll let you be in whatever that bullshit is that you got going on. I'm not going to fight you for the answers. I'm not going to keep asking you for the answers. I basically am not going to give a damn about the answers. I will draw my conclusions, and then I will live in that space. And then that's on you because you're the one who created that. Because you could very easily tell me the truth, or you could do something, but just leaving it, everything's always, there's pieces of a story, man, damn you and what you got going on. And that's where I'm at with that. And that's where I am with Juan. Juan ain't never going to tell the whole story. And Robyn ain't never going to require him to tell the whole story. She going to play. And she going to be his cheerleader. And that's their Pennsylvania privilege. Go for it. I'm not going to work my blood pressure up about it. Surely am not. Surely am not. Now, moving right along. Karen, Wendy, and Candiace has sat down. They're talking about Karen. This was a witch hunt. This one was a witch hunt. Robyn's a liar. She's deflecting. She deflected and all of this. And Candiace is actually pissed with Robyn because she feels like her being supportive of Candiace feels like all of that was deflection to keep people from getting in and digging at her secret. Karen feels as though she knew the information, that she held a lot of the information, just because she just didn't want to put it out. And Wendy's like, Robyn, whatever. I don't think she's telling the truth. I think she deflected. It is what it is. So it was kind of like a witch hunt type of thing. Whatever. Robyn kind of put herself in that position. It kind of is what it is. Is it nice? No, it ain't nice. But Robyn is at a position where she's everybody's storyline. Oh, well, you got to walk through that fire. Is what it is. Let's move on. Now, Ashley. I got over to Ashley's house and got a headache. I got a headache because she didn't train her children. Yeah, I said it. I said it. You got one of them laying on top of the dining room table. He on top of the baby, on top of the dining room table. I said, see, all of that is all nice and fine while y'all sitting there filming that until his big old head hit that floor, honey, and crack like a watermelon that got dropped, honey. I said, this is about to drive me to drink. Then you got them, the biggest one then took and pulled the little one up onto the damn countertop by the window, and they standing on the counter playing with shit on the wall over by the window. I said, Ashley's an idiot. Ashley's assistant and her nanny is an idiot. The people in there filming are idiots. And all of y'all got on my goddamn nerves watching the kids just running around. What was cute about that? There was nothing cute about it. Your ass don't belong on the dining room table. And who gonna tell him? He don't know because that's what they allow over there. What kind of shit is that? And standing on the counter? There's a coffee maker there, and I think a toaster plugged into the wall, and a whole window. A whole window. Windows are not created to withstand body weight. That whole thing, my anxiety was going through the roof, and I said, "You giving me a headache with this no training ass living? What is this shit?" It was horrible. Got on my damn nerves. She ain't got divorced from Michael because it's in her best interest. Michael's still paying for stuff. Y'all need to stop asking her. She ain't got divorced yet. Michael's name is on the mortgage. Michael's the damn fool. And she's basically talking too much. You basically at a point, you ain't in love with Michael no more. You're using Michael. And then you sitting on television basically saying how you're using Michael. Because it's basically you're living that it's cheaper to keep him. I'll do whatever I want to do. I'll date whoever I want. He's gonna keep on helping me out with these bills. I'll dance to whatever little music that it is that he has for me to dance to. But you're basically using him. He's the fool. He's the fool. But you're gonna be the one to pay in the long run because you're just so comfortable with what you're doing. And when he snatch it away, he gonna snatch it and he gonna snatch some more. See, it's always cool until a person feels as though they're being used. I promise you. I promise you. I'm very much a giver. That's who I am. I'm a giver. And I'll give you whatever I want you to have. But the moment that you feel as though the moment I feel like you're using me, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to destroy you. And not because I'm mad, not because I'm mad at. No, I am mad. I'm mad at you using me. The fact it's mad at I'll be mad at myself for not picking up on it earlier, and then mad at the fact that you felt as though you could do that. Like, how dare you? And then it goes from where I care for you, where I was giving you, where I wanted you to have things. Now I feel like I need to destroy you because how dare you? Now, is that a flaw? Probably. Probably. But I'm just being honest and transparent. It literally, the switch clicks it from one thing to the other. And it literally will go from I care for you a lot to I want to destroy you because how fucking dare you? And that's where I see that being. And Michael, not very nice. Michael, not very nice at all. We've seen Michael and some of his whoop whoop honey. When Michael gets on the other side with you, Ashley, it's going to be something to see. I hope the show's still on air so we can see how it play out because Michael's going to tear your ass up. He's going to tear your ass up and have tons of video footage to do so. And he got the money. So tread lightly, little girl. Tread lightly because all money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. I promise you. And he's a nasty something. He gonna get you, honey. And Michael, yeah, because I actually see Michael as just another old queen, honey. One thing about an old queen, honey, we're not very nice. We're not nice. But you do the search yourself, honey. Anyway, moving on. Ashley and Gizelle get on the phone, and I'm like, Gizelle, like, are you actually on the phone basically laughing at Robyn, being delusional, and then you're planning this intervention? Okay. Okay. But that's part of Gizelle where, you know, that's a weird dynamic of friendship. But you literally over there basically talking about your friend, laughing at your friend with Ashley. And everybody know Ashley's not to be trusted. Ashley is no one's friend. Ashley is Ashley's friend. But whatever, do what you do. Moving on. Going over to Gizelle's house. Gizelle got Jason. Now, so she's dating this boy. He's 16 years younger than her. I, I don't see it. I really don't see it. Um, the two of them, their dynamic don't look good to me, but it ain't for me. I ain't got to walk through that relationship, but it don't look good for me. And here's my thing. Y'all tell me. He lives in New York, so they go back and forth and they visit each other. Oh, that's nice. It looked very sugar mama-ish. The thing that bothers me, he is too close to Grace's age. See, it's different. If you didn't have no kids or something, or your kids were older and out of the house and all of that kind of stuff, and Grace is just getting ready to go to college and all of that. Grace is going to college. They talked about how she took Grace to Dubai to celebrate and everything. But I just was sitting there and I was looking at it. I was just watching it. Even with the twins, he's too close to their age. But Grace especially. And y'all are asking Grace, well, how do you feel about him? This, that, like Grace could actually date him. It was weird to me. It was weird. The optics of it didn't look nor feel good to me. I, it could be me. You all put it in the comments. Tell me what you think. Something, and I'm not. I get it, girl. Come on, Stella, get your groove back. But something about that and him, and just his whole aura and his whole persona. Him and Grace is too close in age for me. I'm not. That just didn't sit right with me. Anyway, it really, really didn't. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Anyway, then we had Gizelle talking about her being concerned about Robyn's mental health. Um, let's just say you're nabby. That's all. You just nabby. You nabby and you comfortable being up in their business. And the thing is, you want Robyn. You like to control Robyn. I don't know that you are so concerned with Robyn. I think you're unhappy because you can't make Robyn do what you want her to do. You want Robyn to walk away from Juan, is what I'm getting from Gizelle. And you're used to controlling Robyn. You're used to being able to get Robyn to do what you want her to do, except for when it comes to Juan. You cannot. Your rulings don't work when it comes to Juan, and it bothers you. It bothers you. It does. And another thing that happened whenever they were talking with Wendy and Karen and Candiace, they asked Wendy in a confessional, "Do you always tell the truth about your life and what's going on in your life when you're filming?" She says, "You know what? I think my answer is yes. I actually am. I'm very forthcoming about whatever's going on in my life." And I said, "Well, what about Karen? What do you think about Karen?" She said, "Karen, next question." And she just bust out laughing. Bust out laughing. I said, Lord have mercy. Let's walk on over. Speaking of liars, let's go on over to Mia's house. Mia and G. Baby, when I tell you Mia and G got a whole goddamn mess going on at their house. They done downgraded from their huge old house down to an apartment. It was a smaller house. It basically like moving into an apartment, like they didn't move into a high rise as far as space. They went from like 11,000 square feet to like 1,500. Like it's terrible. It's really small. Like she said, my closet at my old house is basically my living quarters. Um, her business. See, the thing, G actually got knocked out of the business. His brothers basically wrote him out of the business. So he basically is unemployed. There's a lawsuit pending. He says that the business owes him $500,000 and he's not just going to walk away empty handed. But that's what the brothers told him. You get on out of here. Get on out of here. Take this heifer with you. She lost her position as a director with the business. She's gone. He was a CEO. She was a director. Both of them is out. They basically said they're living off of their savings. So here's where it goes to you and your lies and all of your grandeur. You got all these businesses. All your businesses were tied into the businesses to the business that's owned with all the brothers together. So when they kicked y'all out, you lost all your businesses as well. So you really didn't have shit. You ain't had no business. You wasn't nothing but the manager, basically, for these businesses. You were a manager. You were an overseer, basically, for these businesses. Your whole existence was a joke. It was a joke. Ain't no way you got a business when it's contingent upon somebody saying you can have it. That's not your business. Because my business, can't nobody take it from me. It's mine until I say it ain't no more. When I say ain't no more, then ain't no more. I can't go in on Tuesday and then my business ain't my business no more because I ain't tied to nobody like that. You look crazy. You and G look crazy. Y'all noses was way too far up in the air to be contingent upon someone else's approval. And they all sat down at a table and they came out of the room and y'all ain't got shit. Huh? You surely can't be as schwanky as the two of you all were. And then on Tuesday, y'all working fries. Somebody gonna tell me something. That is all a mess. A mess. And then here's the thing, Miss Mia. All of your truth is out there now. I'm saying this in real time too. That her and G really on the outs. Because when the tough got going, Miss Mia separated herself. And even the way she speaks, she's speaking of being separated from the whole situation. He was going through a depression. She ain't had time for that. She had cussed him out. So you sat your ass over there on that couch for 2 months. Well, you think? You think? You know what G was going through? You know, people jump off of bridges and things. They jump off of bridges and buildings about shit like that. $500,000. Yeah. People jump off of shit. And you said for better or worse. When it got worse, you got going. Her thing, she said, I had to protect my assets and my children. Excuse me. Pardon me. Come down front for a minute, Miss Mia. Wasn't G one of your assets? Until he wasn't, huh? He almost became a liability. And you threw him in the garbage. You said throw the whole bitch in the garbage. Ain't that what you said? But this is what happens. Let it be a lesson to you, G. This is what happens. This is what's in the fine print. When you purchase a trophy wife, that's in the fine print. You're a businessman. You should have read the fine print. Moving right the hell on along. She's still telling her lies that she tells. Oh, I stopped drinking. He's like, when did you stop drinking? I said, Lord have mercy, embarrassing her on camera again. So, well, I still drink wine. Then, bitch, you still drinking. And he told her, like, what? Got her. And she's talking about, oh, you know, I kind of messed up with Karen. You know, how do you think I should handle it? I don't even know how to call her. He's like, just call her and talk about, well, do you think I should apologize? You know, how do I fix it? Because I called her a hoe. Yeah. Do I say sorry for calling her a hoe? Well, if you were telling a lie, then yeah, you do. But that's just you, Mia. I say leave Karen alone and go on about your business because Karen don't need you. You're toxic. You're ridiculous. Let's move on. Chris and Candiace. Chris and Candiace sat down. Well, I'm just going to say right away, Chris, you don't look good. You look tired. You look tired. And in the last, I'd say 2 years, you've aged. And I feel like it's unnecessarily. I always thought Chris was groovy. Like Chris has swag. Chris looks like an old white man at this point. His bones is creaking and shit. What? She done said something to him about you're old. Something about him not going to the gym. And Candiace, don't, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. He is supportive of you and all of that kind of thing. Watch your mouth. You don't want to harm his feelings. And then when he go back into the gym, he grab another hot thing like you. You do realize you could be replaced, right? I'm just saying. But yeah, yeah, you don't look too hot. You don't look too hot. You look tired. You look tired. But anyway, it don't look like the drama worked real good for you. It's like it beat you down. Anyway, so they talk about the budget for her tour, and she's going on, with all these things she need. I said, oh, boy, put out money for this. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But girl, yeah, you want a tour, you want to look like Beyonce, you want background dancers and hair and makeup. It costs. I just say move smart, girl. You already beating your husband down. You better take a look at your surroundings. Anyway, she goes on more talking about, she basically feels as though Robyn has talked out of both sides of her face, and she feels like the support that Robyn was giving her was definitely a deflection to hide what she actually had going on. So that's just a mess. Now let's go to this last thing. We go to this here intervention. And at this intervention, first one come down is Sharice. Child, why do Sharice buy such ugly shoes? Those shoes were horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I said, where do you find these little Dutch girl mules, honey? Just terrible. Terrible. And all of them coming down trying to get around to the patio. Gizelle, if you don't get that fixed for somebody break their neck, child, they tipping down there in them hills. I said, Lord, she's these ugly shoes on. But Sharice actually, she's lost weight and she looked like her makeup looked nice and stuff. Man, she didn't look bad, but her shoes were just horrible. It's Ashley, Sharice, and Gizelle. Now, I will say this. They get her down there and they basically are saying, we're going to talk to her. We need to let her know that we support her and all this good stuff. Excuse me, y'all. I think Sharice came from a very genuine place. Sharice was coming from a real genuine place, actually talking to Robyn because she was triggered. She is completely triggered by what's going on with Robyn. You could tell it, you could see it, completely triggered. And she came from a very real place with Robyn. She's like, it's delusion. And I made so many excuses for Eddie, and I just see it. And she's like, and I just feel like you don't see it. They showed clips of it. But it was, I think Sharice came from a really, really genuine place. Even Ashley. Ashley's just Ashley. Ashley's a bitch that likes to be able to say, I told you so. And I believe that's why she's there. But she did speak from a real place because she did go through the exact same thing. And she did sit here and everything played out. And she did make excuses for Michael and all of that. So she spoke from a real place. But bitch, you're only there so you could say, I told you so, Robyn, bitch. And you're kind of glad that it's happening for her because you're vengeful like that. You ain't never got done being mad at Robyn when she was going to hit you with that umbrella. But you spoke from a real place. Even Gizelle, with what I've been through, they all three spoke from a real place of what they've been through. And the truth of the matter, they all really are the ones that could actually say, I know what you're going through. And they trying to convince her, we're here for you, this, that, thing, and the other. Sharice is there for you. Sharice was damn near in tears when she told her, my heart hurts for you. My heart aches for you. That was real. And you know, I ain't Sharice be irritating the hell out of me, especially her shoes. But that was real. That was real. And that was it. Ashley's from a place that I want to be able to tell you I told you so. Gizelle wants to control you. That's all. Gizelle wants to control you. That's all. So that was very interesting. But I look at Robyn and it is sad. It is sad and it is hard to watch because she is in a state of fog. And the fog is Juan Dixon, Juan Dixon, Juan Dixon. But can't nobody live that for her but her. And that's basically it. And that is all. That's all I got. Like I said, I felt better when I watched this because I didn't have these feelings at all. When I first watched it, I was just like, this is garbage. But when I watched it back, I'm like, wow, that is kind of deep. It's kind of hard to watch, but I'm not going to work myself up about it. She just got to go through it. I can't live it for her. Can't live it for her. Anybody ever been cheated on knows what I'm talking about. Um, and the thing with Gizelle, you did what you did with Jamal, and then you went back and you was getting ready to marry Jamal again. And if Robyn had did this for you, you probably still wouldn't be speaking to Robyn. Stop trying to control people, Gizelle, and sit your ass down. That's all I got to say. This was episode 1, Potomac. I'm going to let this slide, but we better pick it up. Yes, indeed. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all next week. Later.